Okay, we're live streaming. Hi everybody. We're at the Puro house again. We're getting ready to do some artwork. We're gonna do some watercoloring today, and we're gonna be drawing and painting dragons today. And Marcella, can you tell everybody why we're doing dragons? What was our inspiration?
I have a dragon egg.
Whoop, hold on. And who gave you your dragon egg?
Grandma.
And this dragon egg was made by Clay Cunningham. He's a clay artist and he does all sorts of different clay sort of items. So thank you, Clay, for making a dragon egg. That's going to be our inspiration today for painting. Alright, again, I have my makeshift setup here, so work with me as I get everything ready to go. Alright, so we're going to try and angle this hopefully so everyone can see what we are working on. So today I'm going to explain our materials, and then I'm going to show you some watercolor techniques you can use if you want to watercolor paint at home. The materials for this are relatively cheap and things that you can find on Amazon or the dollar store pretty easily if you don't have them already at home. And I'm going to show you a book that we also really like here at our house that you could use as an inspiration if you want to do dragons, which is Room on the Broom. Okay, so I want to show you materials first, and I'm going to show you our two different setups. I'm going to show you the kid version and the more adult version. So what Marcella has, which are my favorite watercolor or tempera paints, basically you mix them with water to get them to work, and obviously she's used these a lot. These I think are called Richardson paints. You can get them on Amazon. They have little paint cubes that you can refill with if they get really gross over time. But what's nice about these is you can water them down and wipe them with a paper towel as soon as they get gross to kind of clean up the color, and it wipes off all that muddy sort of look to it. And then the paints that I'm using, I actually got at the dollar store, Dollar General to be specific, and they've been working really nicely. I've tested them out a little bit. And what's nice about this set is it comes with little wells you can mix colors in on the other side. And they're pretty decent paints. I got this set for $4 at Dollar General. You can find similar sets on Amazon for however much money you want to spend on watercolor paints. Our other materials that we have, of course, are paintbrushes. Again, these came from the dollar store, and they're fairly decent brushes for what they are. We have some crayons, some Sharpie markers, we have some salt. I'm going to show you what to do with this here in a second, and our inspiration book. If you do not have this book at home, you can find the story on Netflix. They did a really cute illustration of this book on Netflix that you can have them read it through with you, but it has a really cool dragon in it if you want to get some ideas from there. Of course, there's a million books and images of dragons you can find online as well. We looked up some pictures before we started. You might also need a pencil if you want to draw out your design before you start. So we have several pencils for us to use. We are ready for that step. But before we do that, I'm going to show you some watercolor techniques. Okay, we're ready, Marcella? So one of the first ones I want to show you are just how to do a flat wash. So let me pick out a brush. Flat wash is just laying down flat color with watercolor. So I'm going to pick out a color we can see pretty easily. I'm just going to pick up some color. I already wetted down my brush with with a water cup I have nearby. And a flat wash is just solid color, which is probably what you would use most often when you watercolor paint. I'm going to wash out my brush. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is called a glazed wash, is when you layer colors on top of each other. Ideally this works the best if your paint is already dry, but we'll give it a try over the flat wash we just did. We'll layer a color that's a little different over the top. You want to pick out colors that would mix well together to do that. So we'll do a little yellow over the top. It might mix a little bit and make some orange. That's okay. So a flat wash over flat wash is a glazed wash. Okay, so that's fun to do. Okay, the next one I'm going to show you is called a graded wash. So this is when you get color on your paintbrush and you want to load it up with lots of paint. do a spot with that paint, and then you wash off your paint with your water and just get pure water, and then you pull it down to lighten it up. That's called a graded wash. You don't have to remember the names. I'm just telling you what they are if you are curious. You can go as far as you want. This kind of makes like a shaded effect. So if you want one area to be darker, and you can go over the spot again with more paint, kind of adjust as you go.
But you can't see yellow that much.
Yeah, it kind of mixed with the red, didn't it? Made like an orange. Like I said, ideally it'd be best if you wait for it to dry before you do that, if you wanted to layer colors. But that's okay, it looks kind of cool that way. Okay, so that's a graded wash. Of course, one of the fun ones is to do splatter. Ready to do splatter? Okay, let's do it with, maybe let's do a lighter green. So you load up your paintbrush with a lot of paint. Let's see if this paintbrush is going to work for splatter. You kind of need like stiffer bristles to do this. What you can do is you pull it back and you flick it on your paper.
That's what I do at school.
Isn't that fun? You can do it over any color that you want. That's called splatter. One thing we forgot to grab is some paper towels, so we'll do that here in just a second before we get going too far. Okay, the next one I want to show you is how to use your crayons. What's cool about crayons and watercolor is watercolor doesn't stick to crayon because they are wax, and water doesn't like to stick to wax. So if you draw on your paper with crayon and then you paint over it, the watercolor shouldn't stick to the crayon, especially if you use good crayons like Crayola. It will glide right over the top. And it's really fun with white because it's like a mystery design when you actually go and paint. You can actually see it pop up. You want to give it a try? You want to do it on the test one before you do it on your dragon? And when it dries, it'll show up a little bit better. You can also go over it with water to help out. You need a paintbrush. There you go. Dip it in your water first and then get some color. I'm going to use the smaller one. Get water first. Marcella, get water first. There you go. Okay. And then the next thing I want to show you is some salt. Everybody has salt laying around the house. So I'm going to do some red. Hopefully. Okay. Over your white crayon. Let's see what that looks like. You need more water, honey. More water, more paint. So I'm loading up my paintbrush with a lot of paint this time. We're going to do the salt effect. Maybe I can do it right here. And what the salt does when you put it on watercolors, it kind of makes like a crystallized effect because the salt will soak up some of the water. So you just pinch your salt, sprinkle it on, and then let it dry. And it will start to do like a weird crystal effect on your paint. Do you need a bigger brush, kiddo?
Yeah.
Here, try it with one of these.
Yes.
The big one? Okay, go for it. Okay. So those are just some techniques. Of course, there's more, but that'll get you started, at least trying out some different things with watercolor. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start drawing our dragons after Marcella tests out her crayon here. Ooh, it's working. Nice. And it will look better when it's dry.
Cool.
Cool. All right, so you want to start drawing out your dragon. I'm going to go get us some paper towels really quick. You can tell everybody what kind of dragon you think you're going to do.
I'm gonna do a dragon from a show that was really creepy. That was made by someone who liked scary movies.
Wow, you're going to do a scary dragon?
I don't even know how to draw a dragon.
That's okay. You do your best that you can do. So what's fun about drawing and painting is you can get your inspiration from anywhere. We decided to do dragons today because Grandma gave Marcella the dragon egg, so we thought that would be fun. We were going to make a nest for the egg today, but it's very wet outside, so we'll have to save that for another day. It's nice to have activities ready to go for later. So the dragon I'm going to draw is, maybe I'll do a cute dragon since Marcella's doing the scary one. Nice, Marcella. I'm going to start with like a head shape. And I'm just kind of doing this for memory since my phone is doing the recording. So it might look kind of cartoony because I tend to do things that look a little more on the cartoony side when I don't have a reference in front of me. Trying to decide what sort of features my
And
dragon's
if you
gonna
think my picture is funny, I don't care because I think it looks funny.
have. Oh, he's so cute. I love him. So, suggestion, Marcella, when you're done drawing him, you might want to outline him with Sharpie or a crayon so you can actually see your drawing really well when you get paint on there.
His ring looks like a leaf.
That's awesome. He kind of has like a duck bill. I like that.
Yeah, but under it there's something creepy.
I would suggest parents, if you want kids to do more artwork at home, do it with them. Even if you don't think you're very good at doing art. No, this is going to be a very chubby dragon.
Or if you like have a dog at home, it's good to get him go outside when you're doing art.
That's an interesting suggestion. My dragon can be very chubby, so I'm going to give him little tiny wings because that would be funny. His wings aren't even big enough to carry him because he's kind of chubby.
Dragons are supposed to have big wings and they come to eat people.
Ooh. Maybe I'll give him little arms like a T-Rex too. What do you think about that?
Well, look it. I draw the fingers and then I draw the claws.
Nice.
What is that?
This is like his belly scales.
Hey!
Mine's kind of like an abstracted dragon right now. Maybe I'll give him like really big legs though.
I messed up.
Gonna do it on the other side? I thought your dragon looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, but look.
Do you need an eraser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eraser.
Okay. There you go.
I'm gonna erase off the tail.
Okay.
Yeah. This time I'm gonna like make his face, like his mouth open so you can see the sharp teeth in his mouth.
Okay. Is the eraser helping?
Kinda.
Kinda. You have to erase like this, honey. You rub it back and forth. What are you trying to erase?
I'm trying to erase everything.
Like this. You rub it back and forth like that. If you want to erase everything, it might be easier just to start over. I thought you just wanted to erase a small spot. So I'm outlining my dragon with Sharpie, so when I go to paint, you can see him a little bit easier.
Mom is so creative.
The idea behind doing art at home is just to have fun and try out different stuff. Don't take things so seriously. You don't have to. You don't have to be an expert at this to do art. It's supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun, then you're doing something wrong, or maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you can try something else.
No, I am going to draw my dinosaur.
You mean dragon?
Yeah. Where's that? You're on the other side.
See what I mean by when I don't have a reference, things look like a cartoon character. That's okay.
He's just going to be laying on the ground like nothing happened. If you're looking at mine, then mine kind of looks like a girl because I'm using...
Oh, you're doing eyelashes?
Yeah.
You think eyelashes make it look like a girl? Oh, you know what I forgot myself? I forgot a tail. So I'm going to make his tail come up like this. And maybe I'll give him some spikes on his back.
You can give him like a beard thing.
Oh, I could do a beard. That's a great idea. Okay. Should I give him a beard? Yeah. Here, he has a beard.
And guess what? If
What?
you want it to be scary, like there's long things that look like fins,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
tentacles.
Yeah, I don't know if I want him to be scary, though. I think he's going to be a cute dragon.
Can you make me a cute dragon?
No, you're drawing your own, remember? I like your dragon anyway. I'm going to give my dragon some eggs, since we were talking about dragon eggs. Maybe this is a mommy dragon? I don't know.
Make a nest.
It's a good idea. Maybe I'll paint the nest. I'll draw the eggs. Some of the eggs will have spots.
This one doesn't have spots.
Okay. Alright, I think my dragon is ready to paint. But I'm going to check on the time. Maybe I'm going to... Uh-oh. We lost focus. My makeshift setup fell over. Okay. So this is where I'm at with my dragon. And I'm going to start adding paint to it. Marcella's working on her drawing. I apologize for the camera falling over. It just happens. And we'll get painting and show you guys the results when we are done. So I hope you guys decide that you want to try watercolor sometime while we are in quarantine. It's a fun way to pass the time and make something creative and relatively not too messy and pretty cheap. So if you guys have any questions, comments, let me know. Thanks.